Begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here.
Alright, and they are off. So, like, every Super Metroid run, they're gonna have to go through series. Get on the planet, go grab Morph Ball, go grab missiles, go grab bombs, and then things start getting more 100%y after that.
100%y, I like that. Just hope your your little bot there doesn't mimic you on Twitch there. Not Twitch, Twitter.
He's done this before. It's gotten rather out of hand.
As we can see, folks, basic conversation here on Ceres. Whole goal is to get to Ridley within 30 seconds. Whole goal is to get it to the receiving platform to get out in about a minute 30 seconds to a minute 40 seconds. Feral looked like he had a little trouble with that ledge grab there.
Oh yeah, he messed up that room a little bit. Yeah, series escape times aren't all important at all, really, but it's fun to compare them.
44.06 to a 44.04. Wow. 0.2 seconds between each other. Holy Moses. It's not a speed sync, but that was definitely a tight Ceres from both players.
Person actually looks like he's a tiny bit behind right now. Probably had a bit more troubles in the beginning part of series than Feral did.
Again, though, Ceres doesn't always decide everything. Especially when it comes to 100%. There's so many things that can go wrong, and just at the worst possible time. Hashtag Murphy's Law. So you'll notice that both Feral and Person here are shooting shots either at the wall or at certain platforms. That's just them mentally counting how many steps they have to go down until they have that one platform. As you can see, they both avoided. And it's 6 shots. It's 6 platforms. So they're giving themselves a visual cue to make sure that they can make it in time.
Yeah, because sometimes counting to 6 is really hard. Also, Person is having a bit of trouble with the pit room. It's kind of a difficult room to pull off every time.
Indeed,
it's even
it
worse
is.
on the way back.
But again, just because you have a bad, you hit a couple pits, you accidentally, miss the ledge on the way down, that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to go to the wayside. Again, we're not going to really see anything really happen until basically after Kraid. Like, Kraid's going to be our stepping stone to figure out how things go. We're having a little trouble here.
Oh wow, Feral's actually having trouble getting out of construction zone. That's rather...
That...
you don't see things like that too often from the better players.
No, you don't, but that also puts, very, very much so pressure on him, because that just allowed Person the chance to pretty much catch up for the little bit behind by 2 seconds he had on Ceres, so...
I wonder if Feral is nervous right now, knowing... because, like, he knows how consistent Person's tournament results have been so far. So he probably knows that if this match goes just poorly enough for him, then he could lose this.
Indeed, but at the same time, because they're both from group rotation, here's the thing. Just because one loses to the other, and they still continue onward, and they both win their next match, they're still going to end up facing off, and at some point during the single elimination again. I can guarantee that much.
Yeah, but seeding in the final bracket is a thing. So,
Oh yeah.
For Feral, it might matter to him whether he comes out as first seed or second seed in this group. Because if you come out as second seed, you're seeded into the bottom half of the bracket, which means you get tougher matches early on. So if you can secure that first seed spot coming out of the bracket, you really want to try and do that. It'll make things a lot easier for you, especially considering the bracket is single elimination. So like when this gets to final bracket in January, it's you can't lose a match. You lose a match in that bracket, you're done.
It looked like Person was just about to pull ahead and bomb Chorizo, but unfortunately did not get the missile drops he needed. Thus, Feral, getting the better love from Bomb Chorizo, does manage to pump him out first. However, here comes the first stumbling block, if the pits weren't enough, Alcatraz. I noticed some of the more of our advanced people, as you can see Feral struggled just a touch there. I noticed some of the more of our advanced players here were having trouble with it, and some of our newer players were getting it first time lately.
I feel like it's a nerves issue, honestly. I've seen Person go through phases where he messes it up quite a lot for really no good reason. It's just kind of a mental block thing.
As you can see now, Feral, not bothering to stop and fight them off, tanks the green pirates, so does Person. Great strategy, saves you a couple seconds from stopping to see if they'll drop you a missile, because you're going to need all 5 to get yourself started down in Brinstar.
Yep, there are strats for other categories where you actually want to shoot the pirates and collect missile drops from them, and this is done to preserve your health. And this is more for new route 90% or low percent, where health is a big issue early game, but in 100% your health is really not all that important early game, so you're safe to save a few seconds and just take damage in that room. Feral getting the Mach Ball in the early supers room to skip Spore Spawn.
Ooh.
Person right behind him. Person not getting hit by the waiver correctly, so he's not going to get that damage boost back out like Feral did.
Yeah.
He's taking a couple more hits on the way back, too.
It's moments like that that really, start to make you have a little bit of frustration. Especially when you know you can reliably get something and the setup just goes wrong because you don't need it to. So even though this is like a round-robin setting, it's still going to frustrate the living daylights out of the runners if, everything goes good at some point and then one thing goes horribly wrong and it just completely destroys the run.
Okay, Feral's going to be trying to do the reverse Mach Ball back across this room, and he gets it. And he does, additionally, he unmorphs where the gate is and does the quick drop strat into where the missile is. Person also getting the same strat right behind him. So as you can see, quick dropping through those crumble blocks like that allows you to get out. And Person got out as well. Good show from both of them. But basically, quick dropping is a trick where if you were in a transition pose, when you hit a block going down, you won't have your momentum stopped as long as you're in that transition pose. So that means you can hit crumble blocks and not have them slow your falling speed, which is key to being able to fall fast enough to get that missile and get back out before they respawn. It's really tricky to get that coming back from the reverse Mach Ball like they did, because you have to unmorph where the gate is, and you've got to do a crumble jump as well. But they both managed it really well.
And here we go, coming into Green Hill Zone. They're pretty much on each other's heels. Person is chasing Feral halfway across the planet, and he's trying to do his best to keep it close and tight. So, I gotta ask, between Feral and Person, I know Feral does a new route. What does Person run?
Person runs old route.
Alright. We have another old versus new route, a challenge. Okay, this is gonna be very, very interesting.
To explain old and new route for people who haven't heard this commentary a million times before. Old route goes to Crocomire to get grapple on your first trip to Norfair, and new route does not get grapple then, but instead gets Ice Beam. And you need one of these two things to get Spring Ball, either by grappling out a Crumble grapple block to go the intended way, or by doing what's called the Ice Clip, freezing a Puyo at the exact right position relative to the ceiling to be able to clip through it. The new route saves about 20 seconds if executed properly, but there are some difficulties that arise from it due to not having the areas the items from Crocodile's area. You won't have grapple, you won't have the extra energy tank, and having these things can make life a lot easier. So, both these runners also entering Kraid's Lair via wall jump.
Both had different methods. Feral managed to line up 3 complete super missiles to take out the 3 blocks and sail clean over. Person chose to take out the middle, rolled on through, then managed to use a nicely timed last-second jump to grab the edge and wall jump his way up into it. This will give him a few more supers, plus a little bit more breathability when it comes to taking out Kraid. Feral's gonna have to come up with something, combination between the missiles and the supers in order to pull off a quick kill. Let's see what happens though, as they both say high five into everyone's favorite giant dragon. Alright, Feral got his. Let's see what Person can pull.
Very nice.
Good job. Quick kill for quick kill as both open up the fridge and take the Varisuit.
So the strategies that Feral used in this section, using the 3 supers to enter Kraid instead of 1, that's maybe a couple seconds faster than only supering 1 block and stopping. Additionally, the 2 missile and 3 super quick kill that Feral did also saved a little bit of time.
Person getting trolled by the key hunters on the way back out of the hole. Gets the job done though. Have a nice little high five in the tunnel. Feral got a clean shot on the missile wall on the way out, and we'll be able to enter Norfair with no problem.
That mock ball's pretty tight, but it also looks really cool.
That's usually about 90% of what happens in this game. That move was really tight, but it was cool. Congratulations to Feral for the new follower.
Looks like he's still got vestiges of his rotation layout going.
Indeed.
So they're both grabbing high jump. Feral's got a lead of a couple of rooms now.
A couple, but again, just it's all going to come down to what's going to happen within these next few moments going through Bubble Mountain and the collection of Norfair. And basically, it's going to come down to... it's going to come down to basically how well can each other plan out their routes around everyone else. Rather, each other.
Glad to see both of them getting the lava missiles in the cathedral. Those are easy to forget if you are familiar with any percent. Feral's doing the wall jumps up Bubble Mountain. getting up there just before, or just after the cack attack would have knocked him off.
Always a good feeling when you can get past the final boss.
Oh, person, that was really close.
Hmm.
He noticed that the cack attack was going to shoot its spikes just in time to delay his last wall jump. I mean, falling down on Bubble Mountain once because of that cack attack is not really a big deal in and of itself, but I noticed for a lot of people, it can kind of disrupt their flow of how the run is going and just annoy them and cause them to start making more mistakes. Feral tried to jump through that door to center it, missed, went a little early and hit the ceiling instead. If a door is not perfectly centered on screen, you want to try and jump or do something to manipulate it to be closer to the center. Because if the door is not centered, it'll take some additional time during the transition to center itself. So you want to avoid that as much as you can. Exceptions being when there's some strategy in the room that requires you to be running into it at full speed.
Again, though, for this entire section, ever since getting, you know, off of Ceres and onto the planet, Person has been nipping at Feral's hooves all of the steps of the way, trying to keep it as tight as possible. So as you can see, both players are pretty much neck and neck with each other, and we won't really start to see the major determinational differences until basically the lower Norfair finishing / cleanup of Norfair itself.
Their routes are going to deviate right about now, actually. Feral's going to be bypassing Crocomire and going straight to Ice Beam. And Person is going to go down to Crocomire. Oh, missing the double chamber jump. That can really start to suck if you miss jump in that room.
Again, it goes back to the whole, you know, missing something / getting, you know, hit in some stupid way or something you weren't supposed to. Just starts to add up the frustration level in your mind.
But yeah, Person will be going down to Crocomire right now to get a grapple. And he'll be getting ice much later in the run when he returns to tackle Lower Norfair. Feral getting a nice damage boost on the way to the Ice Beam room. Unmorphing out of that tunnel, coming down, falling on top of the last Nova, which he didn't kill, getting a damage boost. Swag strats.
Meanwhile, here's Person saying hello, everyone's favorite, you know, trolling Red Dragon. Let's see how well he behaves.
Feral freezing that Tripper to have space to get running speed for a Mock Ball to get out of the ice area. Save some time being able to go under those gates instead of having to go the top way.
Alright, so Crocomire only slashed once. And I heard the magical sound, so Person got what he was looking for.
What Person did is called a wraparound shot. Basically, for each room, there is basically another copy of the room to the right of it. So what you can do is, if you can find a way to have your shot hit one of the doors in the left side of the room, and the copy of it that's to the right, it'll actually be open on the left side. So, taking advantage of that, you can get a Shine Spark through that door and to the Powerbomb room on the other side.
Yeah, and definitely wanted to use everything you can at your advantage to pretty much, you know, get the magical job done.
I like how they both picked up their first pack of power bombs at around the same time, despite doing different routes. Okay, person's getting grappling beam. Now he's going to try and use it to grapple off of the rippers and try and get the pantry missile. And he went for the fast strat. There are two ways to do that grapple. One way is the safer way is to do a diagonal shot at the rippers. It's much easier to hit that shot. But the faster way is to do a horizontal shot when you're lined up with when your Y position is lined up with it, and that lets you get a full swing's worth of momentum without having to stop and do another swing. It's much faster to get the horizontal shot, but it's also much harder to hit. So you can see he had to go out of his way to shine spark to that missile after missing that.
And that's usually the kick in the teeth you don't want, is to have these types of problems come up. But again, if you can notice that they've happened, but you still manage to keep yourself on a level head, they won't bother you as much.
Also nice ocean fly from Feral.
Indeed. One of the real biggest differences, and you're going to see it coming up between Person and Feral, is Person will have one extra energy tank and a couple extra power bombs going into the Phantoon fight, so he'll be able to do more X Factors / get more dead center on him. Whereas for Feral here, as you can see, he only has 100 flat plus change in the tank, so he's gonna have to be creative and trying to feed off the flames and try to make sure he gets all of his X Factors dead on the nose without taking an additional damage more than necessary.
You also don't want to have to use that reserve tank, because having enough health to traverse Spiky Death Room, if you do screw it up, kind of important for races.
Ah, yes. 100%'s worst room in the game. Where everything can go wrong and where runs go to die.
Feral getting a mid-pattern to start off with, but he misses the charge shot, so he's gonna have to wait for the invisible round before he gets another chance. Looks like the invisible round is slow. So Phantoon moves in a figure 8 pattern during his patterns. Can either give you fast, medium, or slow. And medium patterns waste 5 seconds, slow patterns waste 10 seconds. Finishing off second round with a very nice missile kill.
Interesting way to handle it, but he still manages to get the job done.
It's a thing that some people prefer to do on second round, especially if they happen to get a position they're maybe not comfortable X-Factoring with, or they could do it to save health. There are a few reasons you might want to do it. I think it's faster, actually, than X-Factor. But what a lot of people don't know is that if you miss the initial shot on Phantoon and he's flying around invisible, he's actually still doing one of those figure 8s. He's still doing a slow, medium, or fast. You just can't see it. Oh, so yeah, Person getting a very nice red tower strat.
Indeed.
I think that's the faster way to do it, is to get that shot as you're up there and get a very precise down grab to actually make it up there.
Person was gonna go for the Shine Spark against the giant side hoppers, but unfortunately he got clipped on the way by. Thankfully, the alternative with the power bomb does help, so he doesn't lose too much time. There goes Feral's adventure. He has to be very careful not to slip into the pits here.
Nice bounce ball strat. It's definitely good for speeding things up in that room.
Indeed, especially if we can hit it right on the nose. So Feral opting to go for the quote-unquote wuss way out, as it's been deemed, and bomb jumped across. I guess the correct way, I'm not sure what the correct way is, but apparently you're supposed to just YOLO jump and hope that you made it.
Yeah, that jump is not very safe, I would say. You can get it by doing a jump. Well, I guess there are two ways to do it. You can wait for the platform to sink a tiny bit, but not so much that you're in water, and get a really precise jump that way. Or you can turn off high jump, which wastes a bit of time. Makes the jump a lot easier, but you have to turn it back on afterwards, so it's not really a preferred strategy. You saw a person get over the moat using grapple instead of having to ocean fly. I think that's about the same speed as doing ocean fly, but it's much easier on his health since he's not shy sparking. And he'll
Indeed.
also be able to use grapple later in the wreck ship energy tank room to get across more easily. So you can pretty much see here how doing old route makes your life a lot easier in this section.
Old route has definitely a couple benefits. First off, again, you can get across the spiky pit of death, and then when you get to the energy tank, you can use the grapple beam to make your way across that. Additionally, if this is your cup of tea, you can fry the shrimp. You know, grapple beam does have a lot of uses. And if you feel like messing around, you know, well, it obviously will have it at the end of the game, but you can always grapple Mother Brain as you're getting shot in the face with a rainbow.
Person getting a fast to start off with, but misses the shot. Feral just did a very nice work robot room. Oh, missing the X Factor. That sucks.
Here comes the frustration of Phantoon. There's just days you can't get a good consistency with them.
It really sucks to miss the X Factor because that means you've only done about a third of the intended damage output on that run. And while the X Factor particles are flying around, you're defenseless. Or weaponless, I guess. You can't fire your beam while they're active. Or anything really, so you just have to wait for them to go away or hope they hit something.
And unfortunately, the chances of them hitting something, especially in Phantoon's room, are very slim. So you really have to hope that, you know, either get an eyeball drop to eliminate it, or you can just somehow, some way, you know, connect with all of them. I couldn't tell if Feral was trying to go for a bowling spark or not, but he definitely did not completely fall all the way through. And he also did have power bombs equipped, but I did not see him use one.
His health is really bad right now. Person's health is also... Oh wait, sorry, he hasn't picked up the E-Tank yet, my bad.
No, he hasn't, but he does have to traverse Spiky Room of Death with 122 plus change in the tank, so...
That's honestly okay. Well, it's okay as long as he doesn't get hit by a floor spike. But yeah, Feral's health is a concern because he's going to do another wraparound shot when he gets back to the landing site to go through the gauntlet. He's going to go through the gauntlet with the Shine Spark. And the gauntlet spark costs about 225 energy. Or, no. It does about 200. You want to have 225 going into it. If you have less than that, you're liable to end your spark early because of the 29 energy limit, how it stops when you hit 29. and you could fall into the acid if you end that spark prematurely.
At best, you need about 100 energy, give or take, when you enter Gauntlet if you're Shine Sparking to make it through that half. To get into that section, you actually need about, say, almost the same amount, so...
And Feral has he has over 225 right now, but he's gonna have to spark 2 criteria power bombs, and he's not gonna have that amount of energy after. So he could do a couple things. He could refill from his reserves, or he could refill at the ship. I think he's probably gonna use his reserves. I think that's the best option for him. Oh, actually, he's gonna just climb up here and do the Shine Spark from higher up. I forgot about that solution. Yeah, so he's fine now. The Shine Spark that he did costs less energy than the one that's normally done.
He's fine at the moment, but again, he's gonna have to make it out of this room without taking any more damage. Make sure he gets the actual, wraparound. 227, he's gonna have just enough. He has to make sure he gets the wraparound on the first try, or it's not gonna go good.
Oh, it doesn't matter what try you get wraparound on. It doesn't cost health to go for it.
It looks like he'll have just enough to get through.
Yeah, that's pretty much just enough. Alright, so Feral has made sure that when he's dropping down the crumble blocks in this room, he's dropping down the exact center of them so that he can get both of these missiles on the same trip. It is something that's rather easily messed up. If you only break the crumbles on one side, then you're going to have to make a second trip through the gauntlet to get that second missile back. And some people in this tournament have already made that mistake. I'm not going to name names. Especially not myself.
I can think back through the list of a couple people who have, made the same mistake. I can think back of a list of a few people who have made a few mistakes in certain things that usually aren't that mistakable, but, we don't like to hold it on people. Things happen. So once a person gets Gravity Suit, it's going to be the same old song that Feral's in the middle of doing. As you saw, again, going through Gauntlet, getting that energy tank, getting the missiles down there, and then proceeding upward and onwards to get everything up in Brimstar to be able to go back down to Meridia, and then from Meridia we'll be going to Norfair.
Yeah, other than the times they get grapple and ice, their routes, the old and new routes, are essentially the same. So you'll see Feral basically doing everything first, and then person coming up and doing the same things behind him.
Avoiding obvious joke.
So Feral laid the power bomb down there, still managed to pull up that Shine Spark. That power bomb not only clears the power bomb blockade on the left side of the room to get to this power bomb, which he messed up the quick drop strat for. You can get out of that crumble block if you do that properly. That power bomb blew out not only that blockade, but it also blew out the power bomb door on the right side of the room that guards the way to the side hopper E-tank. Person's got 222, so he's a tiny bit short. I'm hoping this will still work out for him. See, he's walking a little bit forward to try and minimize the damage that the Shine Spark is going to do. Or rather, trying to get as much distance as possible. So just, you can see he just barely missed breaking that last set of bomb blocks. That could have turned out badly if the Apping mod managed to grab him. He's still got reserves, so he probably would have been fine, but... deaths have happened in this general area before. It's not really common. Feral getting the damage boost out of the side hopper room, but he failed to open the door first. And you can see him grabbing the charge missiles that he passed by at the start of the game. It's faster to grab these now, because you're waiting for that power bomb to explode. I believe the Shine Spark that Feral just did to get out is a little bit slower than wall jumping out of that area. But there are a few places where you can do a Shine Spark as sort of like a time consistency trade-off. Because it's much easier to do Shine Sparks optimally than it is to do wall jumps optimally. Not that either are really hard, but just for the sake of consistency. Feral going for Blockbuster and misses the ledge and also doesn't shoot properly to open the door. Really tough trick. If you get that speedball through the door, you break the bomb blocks that are on either side of it, hence Blockbuster. Okay, Feral is entering Meridian now. First he's gonna go for main straight missiles. Nice short charge to get these missiles. There are a couple other places you can do that you can get a Shine Spark there that are easier but slower. So if you're good enough at short charging, you can just opt to do it right there and you'll save some time. Hits the door going into Mama's Turtle's room, so doesn't get the Shine Spark there. But he does manage to charge it within the room itself, which is more difficult.
More difficult and less forgiving because you don't have as much space as you normally would.
A person getting a Spore Spawn skip, which I didn't mention earlier when Feral did it because I missed it, but It's essentially being at the right position to shoot a super and have it hit that super block that's slightly off screen. Normally you can't shoot blocks that are off screen like that because your shot will disappear after a couple frames. But if you manage to have it connect with the block in those couple frames by being in the right position, then it'll still work, I think. I might have explained that wrong, I don't quite remember. Also, Feral doing the diagonal spark out of coming out of Mama Turtle's room is one of those other time consistency trade-offs. It's slower to do the spark, but it's easier to dodge the pirate, and the spark also kills the fish. As for who's in the lead, the routes aren't going to sync up for a long time, but when they did deviate, Feral was slightly ahead, and Feral's run has generally just seemed to be better up to this point. Don't really remember any major mistakes from him. And Person struggled a lot with Fantoon, so I'm sure that widened the gap between them.
So the one that I gotta ask, and I don't know how else to ask this one without being like stupid, but there's times that their super missile thing flashes on and off. What are they doing?
Okay, that is called auto cancel, and you can do that by holding item cancel while you're pressing item select to select your item. And what it does is, as soon as you use the weapon once, the super missile, whatever it is, it'll automatically cancel, so you don't have to deselect it afterwards.
That explains a lot.
Feral about to go for full halfy. I didn't pay attention to how his Splatoon fight went, but it looked
He had a decent
pretty
one.
good.
Got the X Factor and got all of his supers in one round.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all you can ask for. Feral about to enter the Dragon fight. Person is trying to do the main street missile short charge, struggling a little bit. And just giving up and going for the easier spot.
Again, thankfully with all the tricks that we have in Super Metroid, we still have our alternatives, which definitely makes it useful.
Yeah, there are actually so many different options for strats everywhere. If you're not comfortable with one, you can just use another. Alright, so Feral attempting to start Dragon off with an X Factor plus a Shine Spark. Doesn't get the Shine Spark charge, so just abandons that and shoots the super. It's pretty costly to miss that opener. You want to do it in conjunction with the Shine Spark, because your movement Shine Sparking through Dragon is set up so that the X Factor particles have a better chance of connecting with the belly. So if you don't have the Shine Spark to back it up, then it's kind of unlikely that the particles are going to hit. So finishing off Dragon with the Shine Spark usually nets you the blue suit that you see here. That's basically a glitch where the game thinks that you're still in speed booster mode. So you can use this to get... You can basically charge a Shine Spark out of it while just standing, which you can see he just did to get back across the Coliseum. One side effect of having Blue Suit is that you don't want to run with it, because as soon as you start running, the game corrects the glitch. Because normally you activate Blue Suit by running and having the speed boost count go up to 4. But when you start running again, and the game sees that your count is actually not there, like it basically resets it. You don't have the glitch active anymore. Something like that. I forgot the details. Okay, so Spike Suit, there are a bunch of different names for it. Spike Spark is more accurate, I think. But you can get something called either a Flash Suit or a Free Spark. And there are a few ways to get this glitch. Spike Spark is just one of the methods. But basically what it does is you have a stored Shine Spark. Your Shine Spark timer is frozen, thus the game thinks that you should be able to use one. So you can do the inputs for it at any time. You don't have to charge it, it's already charged sort of permanently. Feral about to do the ice clip now. Having a bit of trouble. And doesn't get the setup correct, so he's gonna reload the room. But anyways, to get a Spike Spark, you charge... Yeah, basically, you have to use the Shine Spark. Oh, and he got the setup. Alright. Okay, there we go. This is... okay, this is not the easiest thing to explain, I'm sorry. You charge a Shine Spark, and then you take damage from a spike while in morph. You have to unmorph. And on the same frame, you get damaged, or the frame after, I think. There's a 2-frame window for the unmorph. And then 9 frames after you unmorph, you have to execute the Shine Spark. And this will cause your Shine Spark to be interrupted. It'll look like it's delayed. Basically, you're just in the kickoff animation, and you can choose to finish the spark at any time. But after you do that, you're going to have a Flash Suit stored. Differences between like Blue Suit and Flash Suit in the Dragon fight. Flash Suit isn't your speed booster state. It's just a stored Shine Spark state, so you can run with it. So Flash Suit is faster. You can see Person trying to do it right now. He failed. I don't think he's going to go for it again. But Flash Suit's faster just because he can run with it without losing it. Now, what you can do, when you have Blue Suit, you can charge a Shine Spark. And as long as you don't use it, you're still going to be in Blue Suit. So, if you have Blue Suit, you can use the Shine Spark from it and try to use it to get Flash Suit. That's a little bit faster. It'll enable you to run. And as long as you don't accidentally use the Shine Spark, you'll, even if you fail it, you'll be able to keep Blue Suit and just do that method.
Alright, so person who's just finished up with Dragon himself is now going to start cleaning up Meridia. Meanwhile, we got Feral5x going off to get Plasma Beam.
I also noticed that person got the post-boss Uni tank just now. It's better to get it now. Like, it's faster to get it now, because you return to that room. If you're going through the room first time, it's getting it is going to interrupt you speed boosting through the box. So it's faster to get it now, but it also refills your health after Dragon. And because you Shine Spark Dragon for that kill, that can use up a lot of energy depending on how the fight goes. So it's a lot better to get the refill from that E-Tank now. Yeah, people in chat are pointing at the Powerbomb strat. Good lord. The Powerbomb strat in the Plasma Pirate room is not very useful with ice. It'll be useful for person when he gets there. But what the Powerbomb strat is supposed to do, it's one, it aggroes the left pirate on the wall so that after you come back up, if you go to the right, he'll jump to the right wall and be there without you having to actually go to the left wall where he is. And it'll also damage the pirates. So it'll damage that wall pirate so that only one shot will kill him. But less useful since ice is gonna freeze it and make it take 2 shots anyways. Feral having a bit of trouble in the sand pit, falling through the crumble block. You kind of shouldn't really fall through that crumble block because if you have Spring Ball, holding it should allow you to buffer the bounce off it. But you're rolling onto that block, and it's kind of easy to Spring Ball too late, since you're not actually falling onto it. I suppose the PV strat for the Plasma Pirate room might still have some merit if you have ice, because it still makes the other one jump over, but I've seen a lot of new route runners just not bother with it. Feral going to Kraid's Lair again to get that one missile pack that requires power bombs. Unless you do some sort of weird route, like people used to do back in the day that gets an early power bomb, you're not going to have a power bomb in Kraid's Lair, so you gotta come back.
Yeah, the only way to do that would be to risk as soon as you get into Red Tower, go up Red Tower and try to get the power bomb that way. If you can get it done and have a good plan to get yourself back, it is feasible to do, and it does save you a little bit of time. But if you can't follow it through, it's gonna go to the wayside real fast.
I mean, it was thought to be faster a few years ago, and it was like since retimed and found out that it wasn't faster. But it was something that that Desi did in his 122. I didn't see what happened fully, but I think person might have messed up the powerbomb strat, or not laid it. I wasn't paying attention, but it looked like that room didn't quite go correctly. The section that Feral's going through on the way to Lower Norfair, the important thing there is to space jump through the rooms that you can for as long as possible, while keeping as much speed as you can through it. So, not touching the floor prematurely, not hitting anything. Person got a really nice cactus alley.
Yeah, Kick Attack Alley can usually be nice or unforgiving.
Feral didn't get the space boost in Lower Norfair. You want to like charge up speed booster to be able to jump through those flames with blue suit. Otherwise, they can knock you out of space jump, like what happened to him.
Thankfully, though, he has made it to Meridia Beach, so... Well, not Meridia Beach, excuse me. He is making it through the sand pits now. He'll be going into Lower Norfair soon enough to catch up to where Feral is. And here's hoping he can keep it as tight as possible.
So good for him for getting the GT missile without falling through the crumble blocks. That wastes about a minute if you fall through without getting it.
Especially at this point in the run where trying to save time is specifically what you're trying to do, but you're also trying to fight against the forces of RNG being a jerk.
By the way, I want to point out that during the GT fight, an optimization that's you see people do it, but it's easy to miss if you're not like looking for it. Is when you're shooting plasma beam up through GT, you get stuck in the corner. Obviously, you can actually hit him twice if you do it properly, because the plasma beam passes through him slowly enough, or then his hitbox is large enough that it can hit him twice. So that's why you see people crouch in the safe tile, is because that starts the shot lower, so that usually the beam is in his hitbox long enough to hit him twice. GT jumping can kind of screw with that, but it can also help you if you time it right.
And that, unfortunately, is a lot of what goes into Super Metroid. Just the timing and the essence of trying to make sure you're on target for all your strats.
Feral's killing a couple key hunters in this room. You want to do that to reduce the lag from the power bombs that you lay. The room that person's going through is kind of annoying with all the enemies in the way. And you're liable to freeze them in your path since you just have picked up Ice Beam. Feral's entering Ridley. Ridley's a fight you can pretty much go all out in 100%. Just try and do as much damage as you can in the shortest amount of time, with little to no regard for your own safety. You have the E-tanks to back it up. He takes 20 shots with Ice Wave and Plasma, which is strongest beam combination. And what you can do, Feral doesn't really have enough supers for this, but it is faster to use some supers on Ridley, since they have a much higher DPS. But you still want supers left over for Turian, so 9 going into the fight isn't a very good amount to do that with. I see Person has 17 supers right now, so curious if he'll end up using any. Also, Screw Attack makes it a lot easier to do optimal strats in this room. Wow, Feral almost ending up under that spike platform. But yeah, Screw Attack makes things easier because you can do optimal strats and just getting as much speed for space jumps as possible without worrying about getting hit by enemies. For any percent, what you need to do in those rooms is you need to get Blue Suit, or you need to charge up Speed Booster for a couple strats to make sure you don't get hit. Even though you still have, you've got Space Jump and Screw Attack, 100%, it's still a little bit faster to Shine Spark through the pillars. It's actually faster to Shine Spark through the door, if you can manage that. Feral trying to use a speed ball into a spring ball to break that top block in the maze. Doesn't quite get it. It's a pretty tough strat.
So at this particular moment, we can see that Feral is just about done with his lower Norfair expedition, and Person has still got a little bit of a lake left to go through with Ridley and everything, so... And the biggest difference, too, is that Feral still has to take out Crocomire, so he's still got that on his plate as well.
Yeah, he's got to do that. After Person gets out of lower Norfair, he can just pretty much hightail it out of Norfair. He'll just have to grab the items around Bubble Mountain, the reserve tank, and a couple of missiles, but after that, he can just leave. But Feral's got a whole boss fight to do, and it's not really the fight that's the problem, but it's essentially a cutscene. so it's gonna take a little bit of time.
It's not
But
the
a little
type.
bit of. Go ahead.
It's not the type of time sink that Feral really wants, but it's unavoidable because this is 100%, so he does have to go for this. The only benefit is, though, he does have Plasma, so he'll be able to shred through Dracomire with relative ease. But again, it's a cutscene. It's not something that Feral would necessarily want / need right now. But it is unavoidable.
One nice thing about the route that Feral's doing, like after all the crap that you have to go through at the start of the run, and then having to Ice Clip to Spring Ball, after all that, you're in a much nicer spot here because, like Sacred said, you can just kill Crocomire in one shot. You'll see how that happens soon. Plasma just cuts right through him. And having Space Jump lets you get the Pantry Missile much, much more easily than Person did. If you remember, he failed the grapple swings to it, and that cost him quite a bit of time. So basically, Crocomire doesn't have HP in the traditional sense. He takes 1 step backwards from a missile, 3 steps backwards from a super, and 2 steps backwards from a charge shot. But because of Plasma Beam, that 1 charge shot is hitting him many, many, many times. So he's taking 2 steps backwards many times over. It's essentially a 1-shot kill. Feral was trying to do a Spike Spark at the end there. It saves a little bit of time. If you can carry it all the way to X-Ray, you can use it to spark through the long hallway that leads to X-Ray. I don't remember how much time it saves exactly. It's like around 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I can't remember.
The main point we can say is it saves time. Because that's sort of the goal we're looking for, is we're trying to save time.
But at what cost?
Sanity, self, reliability. Alrighty, so Person just got done with his lower Norfair cleanup. He'll just have to clean up the touch bit of upper Norfair he have left, and this is pretty much where he and Feral are neck and neck with each other. So this is going to be a very hard call to say who currently has the advantage here.
Well, Feral's making his way out of Croc right now, so he's definitely at the lead at this point. It's going to take Person about maybe a minute and a half to get these items together and leave.
Alright, so Feral does have the lead coming out of Norfair, but again, mistakes are makeable.
Feral laying the power bomb way too low to get into X-ray. And this is where he'd be using the free spark if he got in Spike Spark. So you can see how that would save time. He cargoed through the shutter, nice. Okay, so you want to shoot that shutter so it's in the up position, because he needed to be up to get out. But since he was inside it, the game was like, oh, he's stuck inside the shutter, I better fix this, and it pushed it back down again. So you have to shoot it back up again to get out. It's kind of comical when that happens. Oh, person missing the last space jump to get to X-ray. And he was trying to do Feral was trying to do a speedball through the bomb blocks there. That's a pretty difficult one. It's easy enough to get a charge going there, but getting a speedball in addition to that is pretty hard. Alright, and in Blueprint Star, he's laying that power bomb, lining up against that little overhanging thing in the ceiling. So it's in the exact right position to break the blocks that he needs to get up through here. And Feral's grabbing the missile in this room. But wait, there's more!
Rest in peace, Billy Mays. OxyClean's not the same without you.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked when that happened.
I think a lot of people were.
I think a lot of people tend to overestimate how much time Baby Skip saves in 100%.
Oh, Baby Skips definitely saves a big deal. It's just, you know, you gotta know how to do it and stuff.
I mean, the big thing about Baby Skip, besides skipping the rest of the cutscene itself, is that you don't have to go and refill your energy. But it's pretty easy to, well, not easy. I probably shouldn't talk about this, but being able to Crystal Flash with all your resources 100% makes not getting a baby skip not all that slow. It's more of a big deal in any percent, really. Honestly, yeah, the spark through Old Mother Brainstorm is another one of those time and consistency trade-offs. I believe it's slower, but doing the room properly with high jump and space jump is not very easy. Alright, so Feral's got 100% items right now. Person has just got the last missile to collect, and he'll have 100% as well, hopefully. Crystal Flash is something you can see being pulled off in the title demos, actually. You lay a power bomb, you have to... your hitbox has to be in the exact center of it, so normally this means staying still. And as the power bomb's going off, you hold shoot, down, L, and R. It actually doesn't matter what L and R are mapped to, it's always L and R. And if you have under 50 energy and nothing in your reserves, then you'll trigger the Crystal Flash, and that I believe that heals 1800 energy. So it's a quick way to get back all your energy after the baby drains you. It also costs 10 of each ammo, not counting the initial power bomb you have to lay to start it. Is it 1600? It might be 1600. It's not an infinite refill, like I think people commonly think it is. Person's finally in Turian. Feral's done with the Metroid room, so he's quite a bit ahead. So let's see if he gets baby skip or not. Alright, he's going for the non-space jump method, which I think is a lot more consistent. Playing jump rope. Nice. And he's got it. So I'd say his lead is pretty much solidified at this point. Wow. Going for the speed booster, the Shine Sparks appetite skip. You don't see that too often. That's a really, really difficult short charge. Alright, person going for baby skip. Almost there. And he gets it too. So yeah, there are a few ways to do Zebetite skip, and the most common one involves freezing the Rinka as it spawns, getting damaged by something, and then while you have invulnerability frames, you spin jump onto the Rinka and jump through the Zebetite. The Zebetite is an enemy, so you can, if you get inside it, you can pass through it with your iframes. It won't knock you out. The way the Rinka lets you get inside it, like you just saw from person, that has to do with the enemy. A frozen enemy's collision actually takes priority over the wall's collision. So that's how that works. But because you need to do a spin jump, and because screw attack resets your invulnerability frames, that method, although being the easiest, you need to turn screw attack off to execute it. So it's a bit slower for 100%. There are alternative methods. One of them is the Shine Spark Zebetite skip that Feral did. Another alternative, which the top runners favor, is freezing the Rinka, but instead of spin jumping on it, you get hit near the top of the pillar and do a down back onto the Rinka, and it's quite a bit more difficult. So you can see Feral's got the stand-up glitch. Person's got it set up nicely too. If you are between 700 and 999 health, when you get hit by the rainbow beam, you'll get hit by it, but you won't be locked to the ground. But if you get your energy under 100 quickly enough after that, then Mother Brain will continue with her final rainbow beam attack that's supposed to kill you without you being stuck to the ground. And this lets you shoot Mother Brain during the cutscene, shoot her final form. This does damage her final form, and it reduces the number of hyper beam shots that you have to do, so it saves time. Alright, so Feral's starting the escape. If he saves the animals, I will be very, very surprised, since this would actually probably be throwing away the race for him.
Not really. If he saves the animals, he still has enough time where a person's still in Mother Brain's fight that he could pull it off. He's just gonna have to pull off a pretty synced up escape here.
He probably doesn't know that, and either way, why would you ever risk it?
For the lulz. Ooh.
Missing Behemoth Spark. And doing the Diagonal Spark again. Not quite getting Behemoth Spark. Basically, Behemoth Spark is you do it from such a position that you click the very top platform. Not really a big deal though. Luckily, that's acid and not lava. Lava prevents you from charging a Shine Spark, so it'd be more of an issue if there were lava in that room, actually. And Feral finishing with time on SRL of 123.40. So, congrats to him for the win. Still need to confirm 100%. But that is faster than Person's PB, so Person would have had to PB to win this race. It actually looks like Person is on PB pace right now, though. Just barely.
It's gonna be the ever slimmest of margins that he nails it.
All right, and person finishing with a time of 1:24.24 on a Searle. And that is a PB for him by about 10 seconds, his actual timer being 22. Great race from both of them. A couple things happened during the race, but that kind of stuff always happens in races. I see my ad block is not really working. I'm getting an ad on Feral stream.
Seriously, like, get that out of there.
I'm gonna refresh. Maybe that'll get rid of it.
He doesn't want us to see that we might have a 99% run from him. Shoutouts to mock drums. And 100% from Feral. It's official. He's got the win. Pair force. And another 100%.
Alright. So I know you're more familiar with speed gaming content than I am. Is there anything else going on today?
Well, lucky enough for everybody, coming up at 9 p.m., in an amazing return for his first match ever, Rupee GR will be going up against Wild Anaconda 69 from Cray Jet Skis at 9 p.m. At the same time, though, CFB and Kaznode from SGQF will also be racing. Your commentators will be Jack879 and Fuzda. And for all the other amazing action, you can always see the schedule, and you can see all future events coming up in the future as well. Drop those links right in chat for y'all.
Okay, looks like there's Donkey Kong Country 2 at 11 p.m. as well.
Oh, that's still going on? Well, that's always going to be fun too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. we will see you next mission.